So how's your day been?
My day's been all right, thank you. Yes, been a bit of a crazy weekend, so I've had a reset and a rebalance yesterday to have myself back in a good space, and I'm back on it
When
today.
I
How have you
when I
been?
spoke to you yesterday, you were doing yoga.
I was, yes. Yoga's my reset, and I know everyone loves yoga, but for me, if I've had a stressful weekend, Monday has to include yoga just to get me back on track.
What's the difference between yoga and Pilates?
I'm not really too sure. I know when I do yoga, it's more about the stretching and the breathing, and you get a bit of mind help as well. Whereas Pilates always looks really gentle, but it's quite a hard workout. Pilates, you work your muscles really hard, so it's
So
quite
it's
different
different,
thing.
isn't it? But I don't know. I definitely need to get back into something. But you know what it's like. It's just so difficult. We just don't have time to do anything, do we?
No, it can be really hard to fit that kind of thing in.
So,
And you've not been well lately either, have you?
you what?
You've not been so well lately either, have you?
I know. I've had the lurgy. I've had the lurgy. But anyway, it's 2 o'clock. So if you're joining us, then thank you so much. We're just chatting amongst ourselves here. I do it a little bit earlier because StreamYard, which I'm using at the moment, doesn't actually tell me who's on here. So do give us a wave and a like because this is being streamed across YouTube, my Facebook page and my Facebook group as well. So you're all on here somewhere. I can see it's got viewers on there, but I can't tell where you are or what you're doing. So if I put comments on here, then it'll hopefully tell me who people are and what people are saying. But yes, Suzanne's absolutely right. I had the virus, not the
The
virus.
virus.
But the virus that I had was bad enough, and I'm recovering from that. So this is the first time I've gone live and done one of these, I think, for 6 months.
Oh
So
wow.
those of you who are new to me, I used to interview people all through COVID, the main lockdown, and had great chats and stuff. And we did it, didn't we, Suzanne? And that's when I met you, and I started to sow the seeds of thinking, she's got something really, really, really different. And I didn't have time to start off with to study it. And then I started reading up on it and I thought I wanted to know a little bit more. So let me just turn my phone off before it starts bleeping away. Um, but it's quite different what you do, but that's because your background, isn't it? I mean, a human chemist, is it? No, is it
I
human
mean, yeah,
scientist?
my background was human chemistry. So I use that a lot in my nutrition world, but it's different from other nutrition coaches because typically a nutrition coach is looking at the food, what's in the food, and then working from that end to what you need. Whereas my training comes from the body first, what's going on in the body, what processes have you got that need balancing out, and then finding foods to suit that. So whatever your body needs first, rather than from the food first.
Yeah, no, it's quite different. It took me a while to get my head around it, which is why I wanted to get you on here to explain it. Because I was telling my mum about it, and she said the first question was, she said, "So what do I eat tomorrow?" And I think we're so used to going on diets or weight control, weight loss, or whatever, or weight gain, and we're so used to getting a book and it telling you what you have to eat, whether it's like low fiber, high fat,
Mm-hmm.
vegan, dairy free, gluten free. We've got a book to follow. But you've thrown all that out the window, haven't you?
Yeah, to be fair, there's not one single book that's going to tell you what you need because
Yeah.
everybody is different. And so if you try and follow any book, even the best diet book in the world, it's not necessarily going to suit you because we're all so very different. And a lot of it comes down actually to the differences in your gut bacteria. We all have these lovely little colonies of things living inside us that actually control a lot of the way your food's absorbed and how much energy is released from the different foods that you eat. So while one food might suit me really, really well, it may not suit you. And unless you do the work to find out what that is, it's going to be hard to find a diet that suits you.
So are we all born with the same bacteria in our gut?
No, actually, you tend to get that from your mum when you're first born, because obviously
Right.
that's the environment in which you inhabit. But so much affects you going through life. Whatever the healthy diet you may have had, if you've had antibiotics, it makes a huge change. If you've had a stomach upset, we've all been abroad and had a bit of food poisoning on holiday. Even diets you go on, if you eat the same kind of foods all the time, think of your
Yeah.
slim fast type regimes, the soups and shakes and things, your gut bacteria get really used to that and they get really, really good at taking the energy out of it. So while you think, oh, I'm eating low calorie food, if your body's only getting that, it
Mm.
fine tunes the way it responds to that and you actually get more energy out of it than you think.
Well, That's totally true, because I've got such a tight diet, because because I don't use animal products, and also I'm really fussy, like I don't eat things like mushrooms and things like that. When I do eat something, I bloat up. Now Vince is like a human dustbin, and I don't mean in that in a negative way. And he'll say himself, it's completely true. Apart from things he doesn't like, which is mackerel, he will eat anything and not get a problem with it at all. And is that because he eats such a varied diet?
That will be a big part of it, yeah. The more variety, the better. And really, the more variety in terms of fruit and veg is the main key. Vegetables are your friend if you want to have good balance of gut bacteria.
But you said something when I was listening to one of your trainings the other day. You said that you need to eat a bit of raw and cooked.
Definitely, yeah. If you imagine if you get some raw vegetables from the soil,
Yeah.
however well you wash them, you're still going to have a little bit of that bacteria on there, and eating it actually goes through to make your gut a bit healthier. Whereas when you cook it, it changes what goes on, and sometimes that can be more pure fibre based that comes through and sort of cleans it all out. I always think eating fibre is a little bit like brushing your hair. You should do it every day just to keep things in order.
So you're saying we need to eat a bit of dirt?
Yeah, you don't actually have to eat the brown stuff off your garden, but yeah, if you're spraying everything with bleach before you eat it, it's not going to give you the healthiest balance in your tummy.
So sometimes we can eat our food too clean.
Definitely, yeah. I
Oh
think you
my
find the
God,
healthiest
you're
people
just so
often.
full of things that are just completely different that nobody ever talks about. It makes sense. And it's one of the reasons somebody said that's probably why I got the virus that I did, was because I've been wearing a mask completely covered up for so long. I've not been building up any immunity over the last year. And all of a sudden I went to a family wedding and bang, I just came down with, this chest infection, stroke, cold, and what have you. So it is true, isn't it? The variety. They do say the variety is the spice of life.
Absolutely.
It's the same when you change your shampoo, isn't it? If you
Yeah,
change your
definitely.
shampoo, your hair's better. So there's some sense in all that, isn't there?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. What do you find in the way of skincare with that? Do people find one thing and stick to it, or do you find they need to change things from time to time?
I would say 80% of the time people tend to get something and stick with it. It
Yeah.
tends to be if it's a cost element, or if they like the packaging of something, or if they like the smell of something, then they change. But I personally would say it's nice to use two skincare products, because I think the variety of using two different things is good. You
Yeah.
tend to find with skincare, there's quite a lot of clients that I work with have got allergies. So it tends to be something that they're not allergic to, which I guess we are allergic to food when we eat it. We just can't see it. But with skincare, people react much more quickly because they can physically see the fact their skin's gone dry or irritated or what have you. But yeah, I mean, like I've got just sitting on my shelf here, I've got the reason why I did 3 treatment oils. So I started off with my number one oil, which doesn't have, it's really nightmare. Number one, if you see it.
That's
Number
the one my
one.
daughter uses. That's the one she gets on really well with.
Well, I've fallen back onto this one while I've been ill, because my skin just went really hypersensitive. So you're right there, I have changed. Normally I use number 2, which is like full of neroli and geranium and sweet orange, but my skin literally just went really, really dry. And this is a slightly richer oil, and being allergen free, my body was obviously on high alert, wasn't it? And probably trying to fight this virus. So I probably did need to change my skincare. Whereas number 2, everybody buys number 2 because it smells absolutely gorgeous. So they fall for the smell first, then they actually get the benefits from it. And then I did my number 4 oil because people were asking me for things where their skin's like inflamed or spotty or congested. So yeah, I mean, that's where I fall into this wording called the beauty mindset, which is basically in the morning addressing how you feel. And if you feel like you need rich creams that day, use rich creams. And if you feel like you want to use a lightweight product, use a lightweight product. And I guess that's possibly where you fall in a little bit with your sort of science behind it all, which is like you really do say, you teach people how to listen to their body, don't you?
Very much so. Yeah, your body gives you a lot of signals about what you need from food, and sometimes it's difficult to understand what those signals actually mean. Hunger, for example, could mean you need to eat some food, or it could mean that you ate some food that wasn't right for you and you've had a massive crash after it, and now your body's crying out for something different. And eat the same food over and over again, you're going to have that roller coaster effect.
And I also heard that you get the same hunger pains, like you say, for food, for water, but you also get it if you're lacking in nutrition.
It can be hard to tell the difference.
Yeah.
It can be hard to tell the difference.
Yeah. So you're constantly hungry, but actually what it's your body saying to you is you're malnutritioned, or whatever the word is.
That's right.
Malnourished, is that the word?
Malnourished, I think would cover it, yes.
So I'm going to sort of say my little story, and I hope everyone who's listened to this might sort of understand why I'm doing what I'm doing. But my background about meeting Suzanne was I met Suzanne 2 years ago because, as you know, COVID came along and we all had to convert our businesses onto online. So I do a lot of online workshops now, and Suzanne was working with the same coach as I was, which was helping us how to take our business online. And I started to listen to Suzanne a little bit, but if I rewind the clock a little bit more than that, it was 3 years ago when I was on our boat and I fell off it. And some of you might know that I managed to crush my leg. There was no blood and gore, but basically I had to have an operation immediately and I couldn't walk on my leg for 9 months. So I was quite an active person. I sailed, I used to water ski, slalom water ski. A few years before that, I was still playing hockey. So I was very active, and bike rides, not a problem. Going on a run, didn't really like it because everything wobbled. That's just personal choice. But to go and do the garden, to go and mow the lawn, to do all those simple exercises, to do life in general wasn't a problem. When I broke my leg and I couldn't walk for 9 months, I still stayed really quite mentally and physically strong. My body didn't really change shape. And then about a year in, I went from sort of a size 10, 12, and I ballooned up like overnight to a size 16. It was like there was no warning. There was no like, oh, it's getting a bit tighter. Literally, I couldn't get my clothes on. Why does that happen? Why can you stop going to do your exercises and stay thin for months afterwards, and then it suddenly goes bang?
Well, you must have been in quite a good place physically firsthand to be able to have that time off and not have too much changes going on, and
Yeah.
probably emotionally as well. If you know your body and your mind do connect to each other, I think all the stress hormones that happen and can affect things.
Yeah.
So I mean, it could be, I know you were making quite a lot of changes to your diet in terms of you turned into vegan, didn't you, during that time?
Yeah.
You were experimenting with different foods, so it may be that one of the changes that you made just disrupted things a little bit for you, and suddenly you were more reactive to certain foods than you used to be.
I'd definitely say when I first went vegan, or should I say my goal is vegan goals, because I do have the odd bit of cheese. But there's all, that's the whole new world of vegan, isn't it? It's years ago, if you had an egg, that's it. You can never be vegan for the rest of your life. But now it's like a lot of people do vegan days and things. So I have vegan goals. But I think for me, when I first went vegan, it was like, I think I probably did cut down the amount of things that I was eating, because I did cut out everything. I cut out lots of things. So I think that's exactly what you were saying, which was when you eat a smaller range of products, food elements, or whatever they're called, that's probably because then I did get a stomach problem. My stomach problems all came back. And as soon as I touched a piece of bread, which obviously I was possibly eating more or what have you, I don't know, even soda bread, all the so-called okay breads, I completely blew out. And I think, I hadn't been on antibiotics or anything with my leg. It wasn't anything like that. But I think probably your body copes for a while, does it? And then it suddenly goes, actually, no, you know what? I can't cope with it anymore. You're going to have to deal with it.
Yeah, it takes a while for your body to adapt in terms of its gut bacteria, and even the enzymes and hormones that you use to process food. They get into a rhythm, and then you disrupt the rhythm. It takes a while to reset sometimes. So perhaps you've made some changes. Your gut bacteria very slowly over time evolved into a different ecosystem, if you like, and suddenly it wasn't able to cope with the foods that you were throwing at it.
So that all blew out of proportion. Then I had COVID came along, and I had to focus so much on my business. I through Brexit, then lost all of my cosmetics, and I had to make massive changes. And I think I just didn't put myself first at all. I think I just literally put, obviously, clients first and everything else first. And I really let myself go. And I kept saying, I'm going to do something. I'm going to do something. I'm going to do something. And I'd been going to yoga before. The yoga classes stopped. So if Linda's listening, she knows that, everything stopped, didn't it? When COVID went, there was so much of an impact on our lives and so many changes. And I started to sort of like, I think once you start putting that weight on, you just think, oh, what's another cake? What's another biscuit? And for me, certainly sitting around the house, started to wear like really baggy clothes. Just didn't even notice it at all. So that was it. I thought I need to do something about it. So I stopped eating like really like pieces of toast in the morning, and I started to eat. I've grabbed it to show you. I started to eat this. Now, what can be wrong with a box of Rice Krispies? They're full of air. There's no calories in there. So this is just off the cuff. How do I know this is right for me? Like now, because it doesn't. I just now think it doesn't upset my stomach, so I'm going to carry on eating it. But how do I know that? I look at the calories and I think, well, they're not too bad. But how do I know that's right for me?
Well, you can't know for certain. For some people, Rice Krispies are a really bad food to eat for them. For other people, they're absolutely fine. And you won't really know unless you figure out how that affects your body after you eat them.
I don't get any pain.
It's not just about the pain, though. Sometimes you can tell if you're looking at your hunger for the rest of the morning. So a really good breakfast doesn't have to be a massive fry up or anything, like a big portion of anything, but a good breakfast shouldn't make you hungry again for another 3 hours. So how quickly are you hungry again for your mid-morning snack?
I normally go back for a second bowl.
Yeah. So there you go. Perhaps
don't
they're
put
not
any
actually...
sugar on it though. But that's working from home. Like I have my breakfast at like 8 o'clock in the morning, and then about 11 o'clock I go, still hungry. It's still so-called breakfast time. So I go back and have another bowl of Rice Krispies. So I guess it didn't really fill me up, did it?
Perhaps. Yeah, as I say, it's difficult to know without actually measuring what's going on in your body.
So is that what you talk about when you say about the human chemistry in your body?
Yes, that's exactly it. So I've got a process by which I help my clients to measure the effects of each different food on their body. And over time, we can then develop a perfect food profile for them that will be gentle on their system, but give them enough variety to keep them healthy.
So you can somehow magically, I don't know how you do it, but you can somehow tell me what's happening inside my body when I eat Rice Krispies.
I can. Well, what I can do is I can show you how you can find out for yourself. So that if in 6 months' time you see, oh, Kellogg's have brought out a new cereal, I wonder what that's like. You can buy a box, eat it, and then have an experiment and see what it does for you and figure it out.
Right. So you don't tell people what to eat.
No.
You basically say to people, eat what you want.
Yeah.
But you have a process of being able to give them and tell them whether that product is working correctly or chemically, I don't know, in their body.
Yeah.
And then they can make a decision then whether they carry on eating that food or not.
That's right, definitely. So I never say to a person, right, you've got to eat this way, because let's face it, we've all got different preferences. We've all got different foods we eat for other reasons, whether it's allergies or ethical things or religious reasons. We've all got food patterns in our families as well, haven't we? You know, that we love a fish and chips nights every so often, or a lasagna or a curry. There are things that we eat for social reasons, you know, and they're nice. And I'm never going to say don't ever eat those things. But what I can do is help you to learn what they do to your body. And if there's a meal that you love that isn't quite right for you, we can then work on, okay, well, how can we eat that a bit differently? So you still get it, but in a slightly different way.
So I know the last time I had a curry, which was a long time ago, I had a chickpea something.
Okay.
And we were with our friends in the old house and with Annie and Ed. And I literally, within 10 minutes, keeled over and lay on the settee, and my stomach felt like it had come up to here, really bloated, really uncomfortable. But of course, like having that curry, I don't know whether it was a herb in the curry or the spices or the chickpeas or the rice. So you could actually break all those elements down, and then I can self test myself with your knowledge as to which element it is, and then ask for that ingredient to be removed from the, that kind of thing.
In a sense, yes. It's more about looking does the meal as a whole suit you? Yes or no? If the
Right.
answer is no, we then experiment, going, okay, well, let's try it without the rice and see what that does to you. Let's try it,
Okay.
replace the chickpea for something different and see what that does. And so you're kind of fine tuning it until you get to a balance that works for you.
So is this where people talk about when you it's not what you eat? I think what you say is that it's if I eat that's a carrot, it's a makeup brush. And if I get that makeup brush, that makeup brush then leaves me, even though that's got, say, 400 calories in it, which is supposedly your lunch or what have you, and then that could actually leave me feeling full for until evening, or that could actually spike me, and basically in an hour's time, I need to eat another brush.
Yeah.
And then that second brush is where you put the weight on, isn't it?
Definitely. Yeah, there's a whole roller coaster effect that you can get going on. Let me show you. Actually, this is a board I show my people.
A board.
The board.
How many of those have you got? We've got a whole,
I've just got the one.
Just
Just got the one, but I like to rub it out and do different things from time to time. So this is like how much your body spikes after you have a food, and this is the time of the day. So if you eat a gentle food, you'll have a little spike and down. It'll be like a little gentle wave going up and down all day, but it always comes back to this nice baseline level where you feel happy. Whereas if you eat a food that gives you a spike, it will take you way high and then it will crash, and that crash doesn't feel very good. Right. And it actually takes you below what feels comfortable, and that's when you have the craving for more of the same. So you end up eating that second makeup brush.
Yes.
And then you crash again.
I don't eat makeup brushes.
So yeah, I'm all about trying to find foods that fit the profile of the first line, and then you actually won't have, because you never drop below that happy level. You don't have the unhealthy cravings those are the ones where you end up grabbing a donut and then a bag of sweets, and then
or more to the point, you grab a bag of donuts and you eat the donut, and then you eat the other donut, and then there's only 3 donuts in the bag, so you think, well, I may as well eat the third donut.
Yeah, so that's exactly it.
Yeah. So is there something, say, if I ate that donut, so say if I really wanted to eat a donut, or say if I really wanted to eat the makeup brush, could I actually, with your knowledge and obviously teaching me this, which is the main thing, I've signed up for it. I can't wait to start on the 18th of October. I'm asking you questions. I know that you'll probably say you need to start. But if I got that brush and I put something like a pen with it, could I actually control a bit of what that brush is going to do to my chemistry?
You can, yes. Yeah. Right. And the second half of the program actually is all about that. It's dedicated to how can you just change the way you eat a food.
So this is where you say you can eat what you want, i.e. a makeup brush. It obviously has to be an Esther Marie makeup brush. Absolutely. You can eat your makeup brush, but what you can do for each individual person is teach them the little bit of magic that you can put with it. Yeah. Which isn't, and I know for certain it's not a tablet and it's not some product you're going to sell somebody. It'll be something that's in your medical, not in your medical, in your kitchen. But you're able to tell people, I keep saying you're able to tell, but you keep telling me, no, it's not that, Esther. You're able to teach people, for them to be able to work out what's right or wrong, because that makeup brush for me might put weight on, and that makeup brush for Vince, it's offsided, this thing might not have any effect at all. And that's where you say you can and you can't eat makeup brushes, because everyone says, the first thing that my mom said when we were chatting the other night, when I was asking you and I said, I think I really want to do this, first thing my mom did when I put the phone down, she says, what are you going to eat tomorrow? And I said, it's not like that. It's like I need to carry on eating what I'm eating. But what Suzanne's going to do is teach me how I can read my own body chemistry, and therefore see what happens to each specific food. And then I suppose what that might be as well is, if I know that brush is going to make me crash, and crave other foods, I need to go for a walk or something, and if I'm going to eat it, I can eat it, but I need to make sure I'm not sitting at home watching the telly, because I'll just go and find something else to eat.
Yeah, or it can be as simple as just adding another food to it. You know,
Okay.
I'll give you an example. When I was first experimenting on myself, because I like to try everything out on myself before I start telling other people.
This is
I
what
was
you
testing.
were doing when I first met you, and I was like, what's she doing?
Yeah, I know. I was doing all kinds of tests on myself, but nothing dangerous, don't get me wrong. But I was testing the little meals I liked, and I was quite predictable. So my lunches at the time, because who's got inspiration for different lunches at the time, I'd have a cheese sandwich, a bag of crisps, and banana. That would be, to my mind, an all right lunch.
Yeah.
There's no cake in there, there's no chocolate in there. I thought, well, that's okay to have every day, because it's kind of all right. When I started testing my reactions, that was absolutely the very worst lunch for me. It gave the most almighty spike, and that's why I was always tired every afternoon at 2:30, because I used to eat that, and it would send me into this slump where then I would eat the cake, despite the fact that I had a healthy lunch. I'd then go for the cake later because I was then hungry. My husband, I should give the same food to, and I made him test what it does to him as well. Absolutely fine, completely gentle lunch. But interestingly, I can have a bag of crisps on its own and it's fine. I can have a banana on its own and it's fine. But eating all those three things together, no, not a good combination for me. So it's just about finding ways of eating them that are gentler on you.
I mean, I know years ago, my mum used to say, sorry, Mum, if you're listening, she's probably going to say, why did you keep saying me? But I know she had a book, and it was very, very old, and it was called something like Food Combinations for Good Health. And I think that really talked on about you're supposed to eat so much protein and so much carbs a day, and that you're supposed to combine the starchy products with I was going to say plastic products. You're supposed to combine the starchy products, I suppose your breads, with your fats. But it's not even that, is it?
No, because that's still an off-the-shelf answer. There's no such thing as an off-the-shelf diet. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah, so it makes a difference. Alison, who I used to go to school with, said hello. Alison's amazing. She runs and runs and runs and runs. She's very, very fit. I'm very jealous of her. She's got really fit. She puts me to shame. So what did I make notes down here? I was going to ask you about. Yeah, I wrote down there that I put on weight, and I went from sort of like that size. You obviously are saying about everyone's completely unique, and you can't just buy something off the shelf and say use this every day or do this every day, because you're much more of a higher level than that, aren't you? I mean, you're somebody that somebody comes to see with as a nutritionalist. You personalize that, but what you've done is you've been able to work out how you can teach that. And I guess what you've had to do differently is a bit like me. So everybody used to come to me and say, what foundation shade am I? What eyeshadow colour am I? What skincare product should I buy? Whereas what my online courses have done is I've given them the skills that I gave the professionals. So I used to teach makeup artists how to choose the right colour and the right shape and the right skin texture for their clients. I now teach my clients how they can work out their own skin texture, their skin colour and their skin tone, so they can go out shopping and make their own personal choices armed with that information. So for me, I've done little things like why the YouTube videos don't work, because quite frankly, if someone's putting eyeshadow on and they're a different shape of eye, different skin tone, different colour, it's never going to look the same. And at the bottom of it is always something like, here's a special offer, buy this now. They get it home. And guess what? They pick the phone up to me and they say, can you show me how to put this eyeshadow on? So then they end up spending like £60 on a makeup lesson with me, which is like, actually, that's all so wrong. But if I could teach you what you need to buy in the first place, you don't need to make those expensive errors. And I guess that's what you've done. Somebody would come to you, you would personalize their own plan, if you like, whereas you've stepped over the line now, haven't you, and said, well, actually, I'm going to teach you how to work out your own plan. Which I guess then for me teaching people how to do that and you teaching people how to do their own plan, they've got it for life.
Absolutely, because you don't ever need to go on a diet again. You don't ever have to experiment with those products you find online again with your makeup.
But could you say, like with skincare, people's skin changes? is it the same with food, that actually those Rice Krispies are not, say, good for me at the moment, but actually maybe a little bit further down the line when my metabolism changes, maybe Rice Krispies actually don't create that spike for me anymore.
Yeah, definitely. And I think the more you go on and make yourself healthier, the wider range of foods you can actually have without having that spike. A really, really healthy person should be able to eat almost anything without having that spike. But we're all a victim of the Western diet now, and we all have our sensitivities. So yeah, the healthier you get, the more
The
range of
better
food
it is.
you can have.
And the little token I'm going to take away from today is eat a bit of dirt.
Yes, act like a toddler.
Which I find absolutely amazing. So with that in mind then, the course that I'm doing with you, which starts on the 18th September, no, October. And I can't wait to sort of share with everybody how I get on. With that in mind, is there anybody that you say is not suitable for your course?
So at this stage, the course that I'm putting out at the moment is to help. I'm going to be teaching it to a group of people all in one go. So yes, you'll be able to personalise your own diet. You'll be able to find that true diet profile for yourself. But because I'm teaching it to a group at the moment, I want those people to all get the best benefit out of it. And so there is one group of people that I'm going to suggest on this occasion. I'm going to suggest we don't have, and that is people who are taking medication for diabetes.
These are people not to do it.
Yeah, it wouldn't be suitable at the moment, because some of the methods I'll be teaching you about how to measure your responses to food would be interrupted by that medication. So it would be harder for you to get the kind of results you're wanting from this group program at this time.
Yeah, because I think maybe people might sort of like think, oh, you know, I struggle with food a lot. So if you're diabetic, unfortunately, at the moment, Suzanne does work with people who are diabetic, but at the moment, you'd have to probably come and see you direct. You can't be part of this course. But I think you've actually stopped seeing people direct, haven't you? Because you've just been so busy with it all.
At the moment. Yeah.
So you're just doing all of this. So I have here. Someone's ringing me from London. It's one of them funny numbers, you know, that you get.
Question on the chat.
Yeah. So I have here a document that I went on and looked at, and basically in here there is pages and pages and pages explaining exactly what you do. Saying that obviously we're all completely different. Don't count the calories. How do you find out if they're right for you? Easily eat the food you love, enjoy your life more, obviously, because you can do more things, be comfortable in your clothes. That's me. Improve your health too. I think that's the main thing, because what a lot of diets do is they don't look at the fact of the impact of what food has on your body, inflammation, all that type of thing. Because if you have a reaction to a food, it might calorifically and nutritionally be fine, but if you're reactive to it, that can trigger all sorts of things like arthritis and everything, can't it?
It can do, yeah. I'm always aiming for a diet profile, not a diet profile, a food profile. Because I don't think people should diet as such, because that's like a mindset shift, isn't it? But if you're eating foods that are gentle on your system, you stand a much better chance of not getting things like type 2 diabetes, heart disease, cholesterol. They're even talking about Alzheimer's being linked to diet through life as well now. So there's a possibility of avoiding certain types of dementia by having a gentler diet.
I'm signing up. I've signed up. The other thing that's just suddenly hit me is, you know, we keep talking to each other. We've got so much in common with what we do. Is skin and how diet affects your skin. So if you have, you know, inflammation in the body comes out in eczema, psoriasis, dermatitis, acne, puffiness, sore, dry skin, over sebaceous glands. All of that is directly related to inflammation in the body, which obviously it's all about what we put in the body, and obviously I'm about what we expose ourselves to the body. So I'm guessing that once people do get their personal profile done with you, all sorts of other elements are probably going to clear up as well.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of skin things that come out as a direct result of what you eat.
Yeah.
It's not just a case of cut out the chocolate and your skin will get better. There's a whole lot deeper things going on than that.
And talking about chocolate, you can eat chocolate, can't you?
Generally speaking, yeah. In fact, caught me out.
See, that's why I fell for you, because the first thing I said to you when I first met you was, so you just cut out chocolate, don't you, really? I asked, how can you lose weight? Well, just cut out the bad things like chocolates and cakes and stuff like that. And you went, no, actually, it's not. You can actually eat, but you need to know what it does to you, because eating a bar of chocolate to me will do something completely different to what it will for you.
Yeah.
And that's the main difference between it all, isn't it?
Although interestingly, for most people, their perfect food profile does actually include chocolate. There aren't that many people that find that chocolate is a bad food for them. Yeah,
is it the amount of chocolate you eat?
What's that?
Is it the amount of chocolate you eat?
No, it's generally quite a gentle food, because it's
you haven't got a normal sized bar of chocolate there. You've actually got like,
I'm not going to eat it all in one go. Don't get me wrong. This is a nibble bar for a few days, but no, that is a big bar of chocolate. But yeah, it's more about what that food in general does to you. So for me, I've checked. I wouldn't eat a Kit Kat Chunky, because for me that's not a good food, but dairy milk is. So I've literally been able to tell, if I go to the shop, which one I should buy.
Which bar of chocolate to go and buy.
Yeah.
Oh my God, can you imagine? I'm going to be all the bars of chocolate. I'll be going, it's purely for experimental reasons.
Yeah.
And then I can go through the process with each one, as you obviously teach us to do it. Yeah. I can find out which one spikes me. And then the ones that spike me, I don't buy those anymore. But the ones that don't spike me, I can carry on eating.
Exactly. And during my program, I'm actually going to be telling you, Esther, this week, I want you to go and buy chocolate. And this week, I want you to have a takeaway. This week, I want you to have some fast food. I'm going to be encouraging you to do all the things you think aren't healthy, so we can check, because sometimes we deny ourselves things that we really enjoy, and you might not actually need to. There might be things that you think of as unhealthy but aren't doing you a problem at all.
Oh my God! So this is a weight control program that you're going to go through. I know it's 8 weeks long because I've signed up for it, but basically I didn't know this because it's not in the notes here. You're going to tell us to go and buy chocolate one week, and you're going to go and tell us to buy takeaways the next.
Yeah,
that's just so different, isn't it?
Yeah, I've never known anyone. I don't know anyone else who does it the same way as this. I have to say, this isn't something. It's not like a Weight Watchers or a Slimming World. This is something very different to that.
Yeah, I'm just looking on here. I know I said to you a while ago, I said, I feel like I eat a really good dinner. And you said, and I said, but then I eat a really big dinner, like, full of vegetables and potato and everything. Mm-hmm. And then you said to me, okay, well, what's on it? And I go, well, like vegetables and like mashed potato and all the rest of it. And you went, that's where you've gone wrong. And you said, did you have butter on the mashed potato? And I said, I can't remember. And you said you needed to load it with butter. And you said then I wouldn't need the pudding afterwards if I put butter on my mashed potato.
Exactly.
That's a general thing, but that's the sort of simple things that you make completely different.
Yeah, because actually there's less weight gaining potential from that blob of butter than there would have been from the pudding that you're craving an hour later.
Yeah.
So it's just about keeping it.
And and I know you said to me, without giving too much away, that mashed potato is about the worst thing you can eat.
It is generally, obviously everybody varies, but just like chocolate is on most people's food profile, mashed potatoes is off most people's food profile.
And it's nothing to do with it being a carb.
No,
it's not. People go, oh, that's because people, when they talk about diets, they cherry pick each element from different diets, don't they? They say, oh, you shouldn't eat that part of the egg because of this, or you shouldn't eat the fat of meat because we're on a fat-free diet. But then if you're on the Atkins diet, they'll be telling you to eat the fat. So what we do is every day we jump into a different diet every day, but you need to know the difference between the two. I'm guessing sleep would improve because there'd be less inflammation in the body, and the foods that I then eat aren't making me spike. So I'll probably be able to work out the foods that might help me sleep.
Perhaps, but what I've actually done on the program is I've come up from the other angle, because actually how well you sleep affects what food does to you as well. It's like a vicious cycle. Sometimes you sleep badly, therefore your food spikes you more, therefore you don't sleep well. And so although, yes, I'm going to be giving you a gentle food profile to follow, I've actually also got a sleep expert coming on. I've got Lindsay Randerson, who is fantastic at helping you to work out why you're not sleeping so well. So if that's a problem for you, tune into her session, because it's going to be a really helpful one.
So she's going to talk through how a part of your course is you'll learn how to get a good night's sleep.
You will. Yes, you will. And she's not just going to tell you to put lavender on your pillow. We've all heard that before. She's like me. She's very sciencey. She's going to talk to you through exactly what's going on in your body when you don't sleep well, and how to find out the reasons why and how to fix them, so that you don't just get one good night's sleep, but you figure out how to get better sleep in general.
Yeah. I mean, you hear all sorts of stories about how people help themselves, like with diets and stuff. It's quite a mental thing as well. I mean, there's hypnotherapy, all sorts of things that you can do, isn't there, that sort of makes quite a big difference that people have tried. So it's definitely a mindset thing, isn't it?
It is a mindset thing, which is again why I have actually got a hypnotherapist helping out on the course as well. I've got a few bonuses.
I haven't said that because you haven't just said that because I've just asked.
Well, no, she is coming on the course. You've accidentally triggered a thing, but there is a bonus session on the course with a hypnotherapist. I've got Bernadette Ross coming on. She does group online hypnotherapy for weight loss, so I thought she'd be a fantastic bonus to come in, because some people, yes, they can know which foods to eat, but there's such an emotional connection to that food, it's quite hard.
So I'm going to learn all about the foods that are going to make my skin better, make my body better, make the inflammation, make my pain go away in my gut, and then I will also, on the basis of that, I will lose weight. You're also going to help me sleep.
Yeah.
You're also going to help me mentally.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I'm going to be a different person. I'm going to be such a different person. So I signed up for it, and I know that you did me a very special deal because I'm a friend, right? So I think it's only fair to let people know what the real price of your course is, which starts on the 18th of October, which is the course that I'm doing. So I'm not going to say the price that I paid, because I know we didn't speak about this before.
So the whole value of the course, because what you get in the course, you get 8 weeks of live training, so 1 hour a week live training with me in a group.
Yeah.
There's also going to be a Facebook group dedicated just to people on the course for support, because it's always better to go through a program together. Science has shown, I love a bit of science, people who do weight loss as part of a group do lose more weight and keep it off for longer, because the social element there.
Is that also a way?
A little bit. It's just emotional support as well, isn't it? If you're having a rough day, you can go, I'm having a rough day today, and they go, it's all right, keep it going. But also it's a place where I can answer questions. So if you had a session with me on a Monday night and you get to Thursday lunchtime and you're thinking, oh, I'm not quite sure what I should be doing, you can just pop in the group and ask a question. So it saves having to wait till next week to ask. So there'll be that there, the Facebook support group. You also get the sleep bonus with Lindsay Randerson. You get the hypnotherapy bonus.
I can't wait for the hypnotherapy. Do we literally have a clock that does this?
I don't know how she works. It's her session, but I'm sure she's going to be fantastic. So you get those bonuses. Obviously, never having to diet again, I think, is quite a priceless bonus.
I think to know what to go to the supermarkets and buy is the thing that I'm looking forward to, where I can actually write a list and have the comfort. This is what I'm really excited about, having the comfort of the fact that the food that I buy is going to work for me and work really hard for me. And because I just go around the supermarkets and go, yeah, I'll have that, and I'll have that, and I'll have a bit of that, and I'll put a bit of fruit in there. But I think I will feel completely differently, which is why I wrote that blog post about it, saying I think I will feel completely differently about food.
Oh, you will.
Yeah,
you will do. So the total value of all of those aspects of the course comes to just over £1,100.
Which I knew that. Yes.
I know is an ask for people who are coming up to Christmas, etc. But I am willing to offer SW Beauty members the special price.
Give us your best offer.
Best offer. I can do it for £349.
You're joking? That's what I paid for it.
It is what you pay. So you look for quite a special now, do you?
No. Oh my God, that's amazing. That's so kind of you. So 8 weeks. Hang on, let me just work this out. So how many sessions is it?
So there's 8 taught sessions plus the Facebook group support. So yeah, it works
So
out, I reckon, just a bit less than the price of a family takeaway per week.
yeah, so it's just over 40 quid a session.
Yeah.
Which a session with me is 60 quid.
Yeah, a session with me would be £90 usually.
I know, you're more expensive. So basically it works out an average. But the beauty about this is that the information that you get, this might be really cheeky for me to say, the way I looked at it was the fact that if you've got that information, you can also share it with your family, can't you?
To some extent, yes, you can.
Yeah, so
your family can get the health benefit too.
yeah, so it's something that basically, if you've got people suffering with irritations or issues or what have you, your knowledge about food is going to go so high that it's going to affect your whole family, is the way that I look at it. So 349 is absolutely amazing. I came on here today to basically share people about my special offer. But I think you've just superseded me. But what I was going to tell everybody about, because I thought this dovetailed really well into yours, which is why I've got my oils here. So you were talking to me about how everyone's different. So how do people know? I have to. This screen's off center. That is in the middle, but you can see it goes over there. So I need to hold it over here. So I've got my 3 treatment oils. So I've got my treatment oil number 1, which is allergen free. I've religiously used this for the last week or 2 with my skin being reactive with my cold, and it's really calmed my skin down. Then you've got treatment oil number 4, which basically is the lavender and tea tree in it. And then you've got my treatment oil number 2. Now, the thing is, how do you know, it's a bit like what you say, how do you know which one is right for you? So I've just launched a course which is called Skincare Secrets. And on my Skincare Secrets, you work out with me which is the right oil to use. And this particular course is 150 quid. But I feel like I need to match your offer. And I really want to help my clients. So I'm going to do something here which is completely crazy. And Vince will go, why have you just done this? I'm going to put a link in here, which the link is the Take Control of Your Weight, which is basically what I wrote about this having this chat with you about. It doesn't have any prices in there because I didn't know how much you were going to charge. But I'm going to put in there, I'm going to rewrite it now, and I'm going to put that you've got a very special offer. If you need to use the link that's in there, because otherwise Suzanne Till is going to charge you the, what was it,
1160.
So click on there, and as a big thank you and to support Suzanne, because I really do want you guys to do this with me, I'm going to give you my Skincare Secrets course for free.
Yay.
So that is a course that's worth 150 quid. And I'm going to be really crazy here. I'm going to throw in 3 bottles of treatment oil.
Wow.
So basically, you get 75 quid's worth of products, and you get the course by signing up with you. Because I think if between us, this is a bit of a prototype, guys. This is the first time Suzanne's run it, and it's the first time I've done my Skincare Secrets. So I think if we together can get this right, you will be our kind of like, what do you call them? Crash test dummies. You will be our pioneers. And then what you can do is give me some feedback about my Skincare Secrets, which is completely free if you sign up to Suzanne's course, and Suzanne's giving you her course at sort of, how much money is that off? It's quite a lot of money, isn't it?
It's about a third of the price, isn't it? I think so.
And I'll have to work out. So your program starts on the 18th.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, your program starts on the 18th.
I need to know numbers by the end of this week, so I'm going to ask people to sign up by Sunday night.
Okay, right. So what I'll do is I'll go onto my blog. I'm sorry, guys, it's a bit of chat amongst ourselves. I'll go onto my blog post. I'll put a deadline date when they need to sign up for it. So if they do that, they get it at that price, and they also get the bonuses, which is amazing, which is how to find out how to sleep, your, not reflexology, what's it called?
Hypnotherapy lady.
Hypnotherapy. And obviously you'll learn all about all those things. and you'll get your 3 bottles, £75 worth of skincare from me just for signing up. And you'll get the course from me, which is called Skincare Solutions, which is work out what skin type you are and how to change your skincare on a daily basis based on the way that you feel. I think we've done quite a good thing there.
I think there's
It was
beauty on the
completely
inside and outside beauty there, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I wrote on my blog post, was inside and out. But I absolutely love you, Suzanne. I think you've really revolutionised the way that I think about what I eat, and I can't wait to do it. I'll put that thing in there. So if you go on to esthermarie.co.uk, you'll see on the top there's a blog. If you click on the word blog, the last blog post that I wrote, which was called Take Control of Your Weight, which was to tell you about the chat that I was going to do with Suzanne. Didn't tell you about any special offers or anything like that. I'm going to go on to it now. So at some point, if you go on to it now, it won't read any of this, but I'm going to go on to it at some point now and just put like news flash, special offer. Sign up for how much?
£349. £349.
£349, and you get your full course off Suzanne, all the bonuses, and you get 150 quid's worth of training and products off me. Christ, my products are almost worth half your.
They're getting a good deal, aren't they?
They are, but the thing for me is you guys are going to try out my course for the first time, so it would be really great if you could join us. You got anything else to add?
I think you've given everything we need.
I've got one question popped up.
Go on then.
Does it help IBS?
Oh, good question. It can do, because
I don't know who you are, because unfortunately StreamYard doesn't tell me. It tells me numbers of people, and there's quite a lot of people on YouTube and on Facebook, but it tells me how many loves and likes I've got, but it doesn't give me any names, apart from Alison, who obviously has used StreamYard with me before, so her name came up. So here you go, IBS.
Does it help people with IBS? Great question. So IBS has got a number of different causes to it. So there can be an emotional cause trigger. There can be some physical changes in your gut that can be the trigger, and it can be triggered by food. Okay. So where the element is simply down to the foods that you're eating and inflammation caused by that, you may well see some benefit from this course. I don't make promises, because we are all different, and I don't know your particular situation with IBS and why you have it. But certainly there are people who don't have that anymore. Certainly since I found out my food profile, I don't get bloated anymore. I used to have tummy aches, bloating, too much wind. Let's talk about this honestly here. I don't get those things if I follow my food profile. So I have full hopes that you would get some benefit from that as well. But
with my IBS, I don't get the wind.
Don't you?
I just get total bloating. If I could get wind, it would be good. But no, I don't get it. I literally, it feels like my whole insides lock out, and it's like an elastic band that's gone tight and taut. And the only way I can get rid of it is a hot water bottle, lie down flat and drink hot water, and just don't eat anything for a while. So I am pretty sure that it is food related. I also know it's emotionally related, and then that impacts on my sleep. And then by not sleeping, then the whole cycle sort of stress starts again. So I think your course, this is me personally, I've done it because I get IBS. So I'm doing it because I get those horrible pains. And for me, when I get IBS, I then crave more food. And apparently that's a common thing when you get IBS, because you want to get rid of, so you then start comfort eating. So I think by finding out which foods spike me in the first place, I can then calm all that down. But I think your hypnotherapist and your sleep expert alone for IBS, I think, will be phenomenal, which will be really good. So yes, nobody can promise anything, can they? At the end of the day, it's always very difficult. But I think going to see a doctor about IBS, the first thing they do is refer them to a nutritionist, somebody like Suzanne. So although Suzanne's course doesn't cover this, you have got a lot of knowledge in that area that I'm sure you will be able to pass on a few comments. Join the course, because at the end of the day, there's only going to be a few people on here, and this is the opportunity where Suzanne can shape and mould the course. And if she gets more questions about IBS, then she can bring those experts into it. So
absolutely. If I've got a lot of people on the course who have IBS, maybe I can arrange for somebody to come on and do a bonus session specifically on that, because it's a beta version of this course, I can
the word,
change it as we go along.
version. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know who you are, but basically you might not want to be known. I don't know, but yeah, come in, ask the questions, and Suzanne's an expert in it anyway. But this particular course is about spikes of food. Can't wait to the 18th. I'll put the links in. I'll update the blog. We've probably gone way over time. We have. God, this is the longest I've ever been on it.
So much to talk about.
Yeah, definitely. We'll touch base soon. Thank you so much. Please put your comments in here. Please say any or ask any questions. Suzanne will come back to you directly. Somebody's put sounds very interesting. Again, it's another person. We don't know who they are. But yeah, it's really good. I'll put it in, and then you can take time out and read this 14-page. It's not, I've printed it off the internet, but this is how much information Suzanne's written on the website about this course. All the questions are on there. There's a few testimonials, there's a few bits and pieces, and you can take time out and read it. But when have they got to sign up for it?
By midnight on Sunday the 3rd of October, which is this Sunday coming.
Right, okay. Make a decision by then. And you'll also get £150 worth of products and training off me. I can't wait.
Win-win.
Look beautiful inside and out. Take care, everyone. Love you loads. Thanks, Suzanne.
Bye.
Bye.